What is going on, guys? It is your boy Kazak here. In today's video, we're going to keep it a little bit more casual, and I just wanted to take the time to talk about some upcoming games that I'm very excited to try out and play. 2025 has been a pretty packed year when it comes to games, and man, oh man, oh man, let's just say my wallet has been feeling lighter and lighter as the year keeps going on. But I don't regret it because, to be honest, there's been a lot of amazing games that came out this year, like the Suikoden HD remaster. We had the Capcom Fight Collection 2 just come out not too long ago. There was also Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, which I recently just picked up, and I'm really enjoying that game, so that's pretty awesome. Then there's Expedition 33, which I also need to make a review on, but to be honest, you guys are going to be waiting a long time before I get my hands on that project because oh boy, I got a lot to say about Expedition 33. So yeah, maybe I'll do a first impressions video at some point, but to be honest, I'm really thinking about just doing a full-on review on that game because I have so much to talk about with it. So with that aside, let me just talk about some games that I'm very excited for the later half of this year. First up, we have Digimon Story Time Strangers. Now, as I mentioned before in my previous JRPG video, I'm not really the biggest Digimon fan in the world, but I gotta say, this game looks absolutely incredible. This feels like what a modern Pokemon game should look like. Beautiful looking graphics, awesome looking monster designs. This game mainly caught my eye because of the fact that it was another monster capturing sort of game, very similar to, of course, Pokemon, and it looks pretty dang good. And I also played the past games such as Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memories. Those were also very solid JRPGs as well. So if you wanted like a Digimon game that is very fun and interesting to explore, I would highly suggest playing those two games. And those games might get you excited to pick up the newest entry. What I also love about the game so far is how expansive and massive it looks. Now, granted, I don't think it's going to be on the level of, say, like a Xenoblade Chronicles game, but it has enough there to explore and to meet all the different Digimons. I just love how much detail that they put into the environments and how lively everything looks. All the Digimons are moving around and you get to see so many of them. And the colors are super vibrant as well. Everything about this game just looks so freaking good. And it's so expansive. Everything looks expansive. Everything, it feels like there's just so much more to do with this game compared to the previous entries, which is a massive glow up for this game. It is. This is like, seriously, this is how you do a real evolution from game to game. This right here is it. I am very, very excited. Hopefully, the story turns out pretty decent as well, and the characters are also likable. But as far as the gameplay goes, oof, this probably might be the most exciting part of the game, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. If anything, this is probably like my most excited or most anticipated JRPG release for the later half of 2025. Because I mean, look at this game, bro. It's incredible, and I love the amount of effort that they're putting into this game so far. And again, I have bashed Bamco previously quite a bit in my other videos, but sometimes you got to give them props when props is due. Now, this is going to be a full-on brand new release that's going to be coming out for like $70+. So it's definitely going to be more on the expensive side, but I have pretty good amount of faith that Bamco is going to do a pretty decent job with this game, especially since some people have gotten previews of the game and the reception has been pretty positive. So I have no doubt in my mind that this game is going to perform very, very well. So if you haven't heard of this game before, well, now you have, and hopefully you guys will check this game out when it releases. Next up, we have Trails in the Sky, the first. And I have talked about this game plenty of times on my channel, but honestly, I figured that I would talk about it more on here because holy moly, the more information that we get about this game, the more excited that it's making me because, I mean, just look at it. The amount of detail that they've put into this game so far is just absolutely impressive. I mean, we're getting more information about the characters, we're learning more about the battle systems, we even got some little additional story stuff on top of that. And overall, the game just looks incredible. In fact, when it comes to Falcom Games, this might be the best looking Falcom game I have ever seen, especially when you compare this to some of their earlier 3D titles like Ease 8 or the Cold Steel games, which look very, very different compared to what we have now. Everything just looks far more detailed, a lot more polished, and the overall animations look like they're smoother as well. There's a lot of things here about this game that I'm loving about it, and it is absolutely incredible to see it happen right in front of us. Now, I do recognize that there are some Trails fans that might not like some of the decisions made with this game in particular. Some people are not really feeling how the combat system has been changed compared to the original. Some people might not like little stuff when it comes to character designs here and there, or maybe there's some certain like story stuff there. But I appreciate a lot of it. I think a lot of it looks pretty good, and this is coming from somebody who has played through a decent amount of the Trails games. Well, more specifically, Trails in the Sky first chapter and second chapter. I have to get the third chapter at some point. I just haven't played it yet because there's been so many freaking JRPGs that I've been playing. So hopefully I'll get around to that at some point. But no, I think this looks absolutely fantastic when it comes to the style, and it comes to the gameplay, and honestly, with the way that the gameplay looks, I honestly think this is kind of. I think I might like this more than the original game. Now, don't get me wrong, I like the original game's combat system, but this one to me seems like it's going to be far more fast paced. There's going to be a little bit more action put into this one this time around, and I just really appreciate the fact that this is something that they chose to do, and I think they're going to do a pretty good job with it. Now, one thing that I do think they could probably do is maybe give us re-releases of the older games on modern systems, but since the remake is here, it's probably likely that they'll probably do like the second chapter and the third chapter and remake those games, depending on how well this game does, which, you know, I know how Falcon fans are. You guys love to support these type of games. So I think it's going to do very well, myself included. I'm definitely going to be buying this game day one. As soon as it releases, I will definitely let you guys know how this game is. And when does it come out? Oh yeah, it comes out September 19th. So not too far. We only got about like what, maybe 2 or 3 more months until this game releases. Overall, I believe that this game is going to perform extremely well, and I can't wait to see what they could possibly do with a second chapter remake, because I think that has a lot of potential to truly blow a lot of people's socks off. And I think that is something that I highly, highly look forward to the most. And that's why I am all for supporting this remake thing that they got going on. So yeah, hope you guys jump into it when it releases. Now, this one might be a little bit different than what people are usually expecting from my channel, and that is Ninja Gaiden 4. So, for those of you guys who don't know, I have played some of the Ninja Gaiden games, and I really enjoyed them quite a bit. Now, I'm not as familiar with these games as I am with, say, like the Dead or Alive franchise, which I also love a lot, and that is a very fun, underrated fighting game series. Well, used to be very fun, you know. Dead or Alive 6 pretty much ruined its reputation, but that's for a whole nother video. Okay, but all you need to know is that Ninja Gaiden 4 is here. They finally brought it to life after all these years of wondering whether or not we were going to get a sequel to this game, because Ninja Gaiden 3 was not really a good game. It was very rough. Even though I did enjoy Razor's Edge a little bit, I do admit it's a little bit of a guilty pleasure of mine. I can definitely admit that it wasn't as good as some of the older titles when it comes to Ninja Gaiden. However, here we are with Ninja Gaiden 4, and it looks super freaking good. I mean, Ryu Hayabusa looks clean as ever. We got the new main character who also looks pretty cool. Although, personally, I would have loved to see characters like Ayane or Momoji be playable characters. I think they should have some type of role in this game. Hopefully, we do have them playable at some point, even if we don't get them in the base game. Come on, guys, make them at least do like an expansion or something with these two characters being playable. I mean, they're some of the best waifus in the entire franchise. Why would you not have them playable? I would have much rather taken them over a new character, but that's just my personal opinion. That's just me personally. And honestly, I'm just glad that we have another action game to look forward to, especially since nowadays, action games are they're not as common as they used to be. Now, don't get me wrong, they do exist. You know, we have Bayonetta 3, which truthfully I wasn't really a big fan of. And then we also have Devil May Cry 5, which I really enjoyed a lot, and I think, in my opinion, was the best Devil May Cry game in the entire franchise. It's just pretty cool to see that the big three, when it comes to action games, all have brand new entries in them. Like you have, once again, Dante, you have Bayonetta, and then now we have Ryu Hayabusa coming out with his own game sometime in October. And I can't wait to get my hands on this game. It looks absolutely phenomenal. I also know that they are coming out with Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, which is more of a callback to the old school 2D style of Ninja Gaiden games. But personally, I am more of a fan of the more modernized Ninja Gaiden games with the new Hayabusa look and, him beating the shit out of so many enemies and cutting arms off and all that crazy shit like that. So, yeah, I'm excited for this game, man. Can't wait to play it and try it out. And hopefully it's pretty good. We'll have to wait and see how it turns out. But so far, in terms of excitement and hype levels, it's pretty high. Then last but certainly not least, we have the upcoming Tales of Remaster. Now, even though we don't have any current information about the game itself, we do know that they are going to be announcing a new one at some point this summer, which, if I had to take a guess, might be probably around like late July to August, if I'm being honest. We probably won't hear about it until a little bit later throughout the summer, but I am excited about the possibilities of what games we could be getting. We could get, a localized Tales of Destiny remake. We could get Tales of Xillia 1 and 2, which is the one I want the most. And the reason why I always rep Xillia the most out of every Tales game so far is because of the fact that, honestly, these feel like games that should have had remasters years ago. The only way you're actually going to be able to play these games is through the PlayStation 3. That's it. There's no Steam port of the game. There's nowhere else you can play these great games except for the PlayStation 3 if you still have your system. Now, here's the thing. You also get 2 games in one collection, which I think is better than just getting one game and that's about it. I mean, it would be pretty similar to how they did with the Symphonia remaster with the first Symphonia game in Dawn of the New World, except this time around we'll actually be getting a good sequel instead of the shitty game that was Dawn of the New World. I'm sorry for any Dawn of the World fans out there. I'm sorry, the game is ass. That's just my opinion, okay? But no, in all seriousness, I think Xillia is a game that a lot of people will enjoy when it comes to its story, when it comes to the characters, and even when it comes to its gameplay. It's the one that feels the most closest to Tales of Arise if you enjoyed Tales of Arise's combat system. It's very similar, although slightly different. It is definitely different compared to what you get in that game. It's closer in line with what modern Tales fans would want when it comes to their combat systems. And I think Xillia has a pretty good one. So yeah, that's why I'm very, very supportive when it comes to the idea of the Xillia duology. I almost said trilogy there. The Xillia duology getting a full-on remaster treatment. I think these games more than deserve it, and I think it's more than enough time for these games to actually come back into the limelight. Now, again, I wouldn't be against other Tales games like Tales of the Abyss coming back, or maybe some other Tales games like the Tales of Destiny remake. I would be very happy if that came out, or Tales of Destiny 2. If they did like a mini collection with that one, you had Tales of Destiny remake and Tales of Destiny 2 together in one collection. That would be really freaking cool. I'd be excited for that. We also have what other Tales games actually? Oh yeah, Tales of Rebirth. They could actually localize that if they choose to get off of their lazy asses and do it. But that's just me though when it comes to Tales suggestions. But yeah, when it comes to the Tales remaster project, I think there is a lot of potential here. I think there's so much that they can do. I'm just hoping that they actually do make it happen and make this project really worth investing into, So yeah, that's pretty much all I got for today's video. I just want to come on here to talk about some games that I was pretty excited for the later half of this year. So let me know in the comment section which games are you guys excited for this later half of 2025. I mean, we still got a lot of time in this year and so many great releases to come. So yeah, that's pretty much it. This was your boy Kazak, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.